Before we dry our metal, we need to coat the inside of our torque plates with some kind of resist so that the metal doesn't inadvertently bond to the steel. Now, I've used these torque plates a few times, so I've ground down or sanded on my belt sander the inside surfaces so that when I hold them together, they're really tight. There's no light that passes through. So just coating that really well. You could use yellow ochre also. A lot of jewelers have that, and they use that as anti-flux to keep solder from going to a certain area, kind of the opposite of flux. This is a water-based whiteout. I use this pretty much solely this. It's pretty easy to use. So we'll let that dry. And now we'll dry our copper, brass, and nickel silver. Put back on the gloves. And these blue towels are a lint-free paper towel that I get from McMaster-Carr. I've got an air blower here, and it's just fishing out each one, shaking some of that pickle off of there, and then you're going to dry it pretty rapidly. I use the blower, do both sides. So you don't want any kind of watermark on the surface. That's basically oxidation, so you really have to make sure you're drying it really well. If you get a watermark, just put it back in the pickle. Again, these are lint-free paper towels, just nice to have. If you don't have this and using regular paper towels, just be mindful that there may be some lint or some floaties on there, and we'll use this again, or you can just blow on the surface when you're stacking like this. I like to also use, or a good alternative would be like old t-shirts, because that's usually pretty soft material that doesn't have a lot of lint to it. And of course we've got one last time to inspect our metal before it gets stacked. And we'll go through a couple of these paper towels. Just because they'll get pretty wet. You could use a hair dryer as long as it has as long as there's no heat. So a lot of times they'll have a cool setting, but if it's got heat, you might inadvertently oxidize the surface. So the prepping, the cleaning, the drying, it's kind of the tedious work of making mokume, but it's necessary. You know, it's just like any recipe that if some of the ingredients, something's wrong with them, and you know, the amount, it just kind of sets things up to fail. And to make a good mokume billet, we need clean metal, tight compression to where there's no or very minimal space in between the layers, and then the right amount of heat. And then we should have good bonding and make a good billet. So I'll finish drying and stacking. And then part 4 will be, or excuse me, once I'm done drying, I will show you how to make the stack stable while we get it into the torque plates. So we'll just pause this video. This is the first part of part 3.